in the video.
Okay, this is Unit 3B, linear measurement. This is part 2 of converting in the imperial system. So we did measurement, converting from imperial to metric and back and forth. Now we're going to do just within the imperial system. So if we take a look, these are called referents. A referent is part of your body that you use that could estimate the size of a measurement. So for example, an inch is the width of your thumb, how wide your thumb is. You could also say an inch is the width of 2 fingers together. That's closer to an inch. So the width of 2 fingers. Okay. A foot, the distance from your heel to your big toe. Another one for your foot is from your elbow to your wrist. Your elbow to your wrist is about a foot long sub. So your elbow to your wrist. Elbow to the wrist. Okay, a yard is about your stride, and it's about the length of from the floor to the top of your hip. So from the floor to the top of your hip is about 1 meter. Okay, it's about a yard. So it says we often use these ones, and it says an important person like the king, he wanted to have different units. Okay, so in 1824, the units were called the System International of Measurement. It's the imperial system of measurement. It says, while most frequently here in Canada, we use the metric system, many trades and many things that we measure are in feet, inches, miles. So the U.S. specifically, the United States, the USA, they use the international, okay, the imperial. And where did it get its range, or where did it get its... Okay, so the imperial is the USA. They typically use it, but so do the trades. So when we're measuring things, we often measure them in feet, inches, and in yards. So yards is more for football. Okay, smaller things. These are for distances. So distances between places. So something that actually is a long distance. So from Sylvan Lake to Red Deer, a distance.
That's like 15 minutes.
Yes, but that would tell you how long how far you went. Okay, so distances meaning how far. Okay, so an inch. How many inches in a foot? It takes 12 inches makes 1 foot. So basically you're reading it from the bottom left from the bottom right to the left. So we're saying 12 inches makes 1 foot. Then for yards, well, we say 3 feet make 1 yard. And if I know 12 inches make a foot, I'm going to take 3 times 12, and that's going to give me 36 inches in 1 yard. So 36 inches in 1 yard. So 3 feet times 12 inches. Now we've got miles. So we're going miles. Okay, so now we're into miles. How many yards does it take? Well, it takes 1,760 yards. They make 1 mile. Okay. Well, then I got to take my 1,760 times 3. Okay, we're timesing by the number above it. So that's going to give me 5,280 feet. Okay, so it takes that many feet to that makes 1 mile. Okay, now for inches, we're going to say, okay, 36 inches times 5280. So what you're doing is you're multiplying. If you take a look, these guys are multiplying to give you that one. These two multiply to give you that one. And that's the way this is working. So 36 times 5280, it's a really big number. 63360 inches. Okay, so I'm going to highlight the numbers we need. Okay, so the numbers we need to know are these ones: 12, 36, 3, and 1760. Okay, those are the numbers we need to know the most. Now we're going to use them on the next page to do some examples. Okay, so everybody's got those. I'm just going to draw them on the board so we can refer to them. All right, folks. So we are going miles to yards. So turn your page. Miles to yards. I take a look at my object. I'm going mile to yard. I take a look where they meet. I get the number 1760. So now this means I am timesing. So 3.5 times. What am I multiplying by? What number did I find? 1760. Okay, we start with the same number every time. 3.5, 3.5. Now, miles is at the very bottom. If he wants to convert to anything above him, he's always going to be multiplying. So if I want to go miles to yards, we're going to do the exact same thing here. Miles to yards is times 1760. Miles to feet times. And then we got miles to inches. All right. So the second one there, it says I want miles to feet. So I find miles here, feet here. Everybody watching? I got miles and feet, top and left. Now I find where they meet. I got the number 5280. So I got the number 5280. Okay. Now I want miles to inches. So I take miles on the left, inch on the top, and now I follow them down. Where do I get? It's a really big number. I get to 63,360. So times 63,360. Okay, I wrote all the work for those questions because those questions were the same conversion. Okay, those were the same ones, so I'm converting those. Now we're going to take a couple minutes and do our calculating on the calculator. I did. So for the first one, you should get 6160. Now you're going to get 18,480 feet. And over here, we're going to get 221,760 inches. So for 3.5 miles, that's how much it makes. Okay? It makes that many yards, that many feet, that many inches. That's what we found out. And we're going to do the same thing with letter B. So we had a few minutes to take a look and we multiplied. So now we're going to have 45,760 yards. The next one, we're going to have 137,280. And the last one there, we're going to get 1,647,360. Okay, that's the first ones. Okay, so make sure your answers match. Okay, so we're going to go yards to feet. So if I look on my chart, I'm going to find yards and feet, and I'm going to find out where they meet. Right there, the number is 3. So since I'm moving up on my chart, I'm multiplying, timesing 3. So 10 times 3. That's going to give me 30 feet. Over here, I've got 10 yards, and now I'm going to inches. So I'm going yards to inch. I'm going to multiply by 36. And that's going to give me 360 inches. Okay, move it up for letter D. All right. Oh, no, we don't need that. Nope, we don't need that either. There we go. Okay, so letter D. We have yards to feet, so same as we just did. So we have to multiply by 3. And then we have feet to inches, so 475 times 36. All right, let's do the multiplying. Okay, for the first one, you're going to get 1,425 feet. And when we multiply by 36, we're going to get 17,100 inches. The next one asks us about feet to inches. So now I go back to my chart and I find feet and inch and I get to the number 12. So now I'm going to say 8 times 12 is going to give me 96. This might be on the top of the next page if it's not on the bottom of your page. Okay, so it might be on the top of the next page. Okay, so it depends on which one you've got. It might be on the top of the next page. Okay, so this guy might be right there. Okay, the next one again, feet to inches. So for feet to inches, we are timesing by 12. And that gives us the answer of 1,080. All right, now we're going to go backwards. Now we're going to be dividing. Okay, so now we're starting with a small unit and we got to go to a big unit. Okay, so now this one is the opposite. So now I'm going inch to miles. So I'm taking my large number, 253440, and I find the inch to miles. I find the number, but because I'm now going down, I'm going to divide by that number. So we're dividing by that 63360. So this one is a divide question. And the next one will also be a divide question. 253440. You always write your starting number. 253440. And again, we're going to a smaller unit, so we're dividing. The next one, inch to yards. So I find inch, I go over to yards, I come down to 36. So the number I'm dividing by is 36. And then I find inch to feet. Inch, feet, the number is 12. So I'm going to divide by 12. All right. Our grand totals are 4 miles, 7040 yards. It's a lot of yards. And 21,120 feet. Okay, so we're dividing this time. The very next question is the exact same process. You're going to take the numbers and divide by the same numbers we did in letter A. I'll give you a few minutes to get that done. Okay, let's check our work. This should give us 10.5 miles, 18,480 yards, 55,440 feet. Okay, that's what we should have got. All right, letter C says feet to miles. So on the top, I'm going to find feet. On the bottom, I find miles, and I'm going to go down. Okay, so I get the number 5280. So I know I've got the number 5280, but I don't know if I'm timesing or dividing. So I'm going feet to miles. I'm going down. So what does that mean? I'm going down. What am I doing? Dividing. Okay, down is divide. So we are dividing, and we're starting with that same first number, 36,960, and then dividing. So feet to yards, feet, find your yards, and you'll find the number 3. We're going down, so we're dividing. So this guy is divide by 3. All right, let's do our dividing and see what we get. So this should give us 7 miles and 12,320 yards. The next question, I'll give you a moment to do yourself. You do the exact same steps as the question before it. Okay, this is going to be 5.2 miles. And this is going to give us 9,152 for yards. All right, let's turn our page. We have a few more. Okay, so we have yards to miles. We have two of them that are yards to miles. So if I take a look right here, yards, miles, I get to the number 1760. So yards to miles is going to be dividing by 1760. So we're going to do that to both of those numbers. So we're going to do that to both of those numbers for E and for F. Okay, so we're dividing both of those numbers by 1760. The first one's going to give me 14 exactly. The second one is going to give me 6.75. 6.75 is what that one's giving me. All right. A little bit left on here and then we're done. Okay, each of the next section is individual. So we're not doing a whole bunch of them together. We're using each one is separate. So the first one, I'm going feet to yard. I look at my chart. I've got feet and yards. I go to here. That's going to give me the number 3. So since I'm going feet to yard, I'm going down is divide. So this guy's going to be divide 3. And 48 dividing 3 is going to give me a 16. Now I want to go inches to miles. So I find inches on my chart, I find miles on my chart, and I see where they meet. It's a really big number. So if I'm going inches to miles, I'm dividing because I'm going down on the chart. So I'm dividing by 63360. That's going to give us 7.3. Okay, 7.3. All right, a few more here left and then we're done. Okay, yards to inches. So if I've got yards, I find inch, I find it on the chart where they meet, I get the number 36. But I'm going yard to inch this time. So now I times by that number 36. Okay, so you find the number in the chart and then you find out if you're going up to multiply, down to divide. So I'm going to multiply it by 36 and that's going to give me 4,500. Okay. The next one's miles to feet. So I find miles, I find feet, I see where they meet. And I'm going to get the number 5280. So that means I'm multiplying because you are going up 5280. And that's going to give me a lot. 12,672. That's how many feet it is. It's a lot of feet. Okay, the next one, we want inches to feet. So I find inches right up here. I find feet over here. I see where they meet. I get the number 12. So I am going down, so I am dividing by 12. And that's going to give us 13.5. Okay, yards to miles. Find yards, find miles, find your number. 1760 is where they meet. And now they're going down. So this time we have to divide. If we're going down, we divide. Down on the chart is divide. I'm going to get 0.8. Okay, 0.8. Okay. Now we're going to go yards to feet. Yards to feet. When we see where they meet, we're going to get the number 3. And we're going up, so we are timesing by 3 to give us 720. Miles to inches, you're going up, you're multiplying by that really big number, 63,360. So that gives us a really big number, 361,152. Really big number, 6 digits. And the final 2 here for us, inches to yards. We're going down, so we're dividing by 36. We find where they meet on the chart. We get the number 36. Down is divide. We end up with 2.5. 2.5 yards. The next one, feet to miles. Feet to miles is dividing by 5280. 5280. And that's going to give us 50 miles. Okay, this concludes converting within imperial measurements.